All right, we are back. Joey is here with us. He couldn't make it last week, but we got it in the right time. Right after Thanksgiving, we got state championships coming up tomorrow. But we'll recap last week's game and what a closeout we had for. We will start off with the Thanksgiving game. I mean, I think I told you the game was either going to go one way. It was either going to be a close game or it was going to be a blowout. And we got ourselves a nice, good football game to close out the season. And it's no surprise with those two teams.
I called it a one possession game. I hate to say I told you so, but I knew English was going to hang in there. They had a lot of contributions. I mean, you look at Classical, it's not easy to slow down Classical, which turned to a run first approach Thursday, which they haven't done a whole lot this season. Usually they're showing off that aerial attack. Classical ran the ball a lot Thursday, and I thought English responded to that well. Got to give credit to where credit's due. Coach Lafrada and company really swallowed up that run game for the most part. Mm-hmm. And but that star power came through with Vaughn. He got a rushing touchdown, and English capitalized on a punt return. But the offense, Anthony told me after the game, they just couldn't get it going. And that happens sometimes. You hate it to happen on a Thanksgiving game with the big crowd, but English hung in there. So the 8-6 final, I had fun.
Yeah, I definitely enjoyed it. I was dissecting the game so many different ways. First, Mitchell Purdy. Got to give a lot of credit to that young man because he stood out. Classical could not block him. They literally could not block him. Either if it was a double, they tried double team. Anytime he was single covered, he got to the quarterback, he got to the running back. He just had himself a breakout game. And if people haven't watched English a lot this year, he's been doing that a lot. He was probably one of their better defensive players this whole year because he was very hard to block, and it showed on Thursday.
Yeah, 3 sacks, and Coach Lafrada used the word unbelievable, and I agree to recap his game in one word. And I believe he got a 22-yard catch, didn't he?
That
left side.
Yep.
So good
all
for him.
All he needed was one more blocker. All he needed was one more blocker or a little cutback, and that was a touchdown. But hey,
win or lose, he's my player of the game, I think.
Yeah, that's funny. Me and somebody were working on something for for players of the game. We're working on something for that. But yeah, all right. So my biggest issues with English I've been telling you all year is the inconsistency of the offense. That's just that the offense really hurt them once again. You had a perfect opportunity. You had a 1st and goal at the 5-yard line, and then you ended up going backwards and ended up with a 4th and goal from like the 23 or like the 29-yard line or something like that. That right there was the game right there. Classical didn't do nothing else, but that right there, I didn't understand the play calling, especially you ran a play that hasn't been working all game with that toss play. That toss play eventually cost you 2 points. That play continued not to work. The dropbacks, it was you have a 6'6" receiver and a 6'4" tight end. You could have at least tried at least once to try just throw it up to them to see if they could just go up and get it. I would have liked to see them do one of those calls, but it was that down there. That I think that was right there. That was the difference in the game right there. That would have made or break the game, and it broke the game for them.
Yeah, I agree. And I will say, I think coaching in that scenario is harder than it looks because, you could run the ball 4 times in a row and you've got a good chance to punch it in there. But, if you do that and don't score a touchdown, people say, oh, you ran it 4 times in a row. You're not being creative. That's hard. But yeah, that was a difference in the game. And English, that punt return got them so much momentum. And that would have been crazy if the Bulldogs pulled off the comeback, but they don't. So next Thanksgiving, you look at last year, 18-0. This year, 8-6. So records.
Last year it was pretty. Last year the scoreboard didn't tell you the whole capsule of the game because it was closer than that scoreboard would tell you. And I thought Jordan got in on the 2nd touchdown, but from where I was, it looked like he got in, but the folks on the field had a better view. But it just looked like he dove and got in, but I guess he stepped out. But man, so close, a game of inches, they say, and that was it right there.
I was about 10 feet to the right of you, so I can't really weigh in on that one.
Yeah,
But
definitely. But kudos to Glasgow ending their season with a win. Kudos to English too. They fought despite all the obstacles they had. It was a really good way to end the season. All right, the night before we had Kip and we had Tech, and it was the Mornell Castro show. he he capped off his time in the Panthers uniform with a 5 touchdown performance. He just the stuff he's been doing all year. And I mean, there's not a lot of words I can say about that young man because I ran out of I've ran out of words to say about his play on the field.
yeah, I mean, is he the best football player in Lynn? I don't know. I'm going to let the Mornell, Chanel, Vaughn, Max Parent topics weigh in here, but
We have a good argument. There's a good
we have a good
argument for
argument.
all of them.
And it's almost like, up in the press box, sometimes it's hard to see the number, but every play, it's like, was that number 5 or number 2? Yep, it was. And he ran it with ease. He caught it with ease. It's almost like he was going half speed. He wasn't. I'm just saying
Yeah,
he's so dynamic in that regard. And Chanel tossed, what was it, 4?
yeah,
3 or 4 touchdowns.
3 or 4. One of those. One of those. I
I
forgot.
said in my column that Ovan Machado, as always, ran hard.
Mm-hmm.
And I hate to use the word star power. I know I've already used it once in this video, but it's just one of those things where, Tech has it's Cesar Reyes and it's Ethan Prume and JD Ortega in 8th grade. Are you kidding me? But Kip, man, they've got those star players in the city. So,
Yeah.
um, and it got a little chippy post game, but that's what you can check the Lynn item for. Wrote about that,
Ah!
but um,
They were asking me if I saw what happened, but luckily my camera was still rolling. I didn't see it, but the camera caught it. It was hilarious. I find those stuff funny. I thought we were gonna have a back and forth game after the kick return for a touchdown. Kip went up and for the score. Then Alberto Gerardo he returned that kick, and I'm just like, okay, we might have something here. Might be a shootout we got here, but Kip calmed down on the defense. They made some adjustments and they ran away with it. But I mean, it's a typical Kip Tech game. Chippy as always, athletes everywhere. But I mean, hey,
yeah.
what
And
what
last year was what, 54-48?
last year there was just scoring all over the place. I
But
don't remember the score, but yeah,
Kip was kind of playing not to get injured in that game though, for the Super Bowl. But
I didn't
still,
mind. I didn't mind it.
nope,
I love
still.
the scoring. I love the
And
score.
next Thanksgiving, just watch out. That'll be a good one. That'll be a fun
Yeah,
one.
I mean, it's always chippy. And lastly, St. Mary's closed out this season. They lost on the road to Everett. The game at one point, I thought it was getting out of hand. It was 35-7 at one point. And I looked, then the Spartans started getting things going. They were scoring. It was scoring. Just the problem is they couldn't get any stops when they needed to. But as you said in previous shows, young team got a lot to look forward to for next season.
Yeah, we've talked extensively about that. And I wasn't at the game. Our great reporter, Mark Avoyan, was there. Um, as was Paul Halloran, as was Matt Roy. And everyone's telling me St. Mary's, if you saw it in person, the score doesn't say the whole thing. And, obviously, I believe it. St. Mary's, I mean, if you know me, I love boxing. And it's kind of like when you fight that heavyweight champion and you go 8 rounds with them, it's going to make you a better fighter, even if you lose.
Yeah,
So the fact that you can score 28 points against Everett, granted, it's not good to give up 60, but the fact that those younger players can get in an environment like that,
yeah,
Sean Driscoll said it's going to help them next year and in the following years, and I couldn't agree more.
yeah. Well, because they have a lot of freshmen and sophomores on that team that that might have them in that position to be back at Gillette, and they got some good upperclassmen as well with Tyler Guy, Devel Pamplin. So yeah, I expect those guys to just retool and get right back to it and try to get back to Gillette because they definitely it was an up and down year for them health wise. Health wise, a lot of guys were in and out of the lineup. I think the prior to the Cardinal Spellman game in the playoffs, they had some guys out of the lineup too, or in and out of the lineup too. So that kind of hindered them as well.
And speaking of Gillette Stadium, just want to give a shout out to Marquise Avery and Edwin Castro. Best of luck tomorrow.
You got them in your story, right?
Yeah, yep. Mark wrote that story earlier today, and I think the Lynn the city of Lynn is represented well at Gillette tomorrow.
Yeah, that's gonna be a good one. That's gonna be a big one. I'm still waiting on my confirmation from these media folks. I don't know what they doing over there, but geez
You
Louise.
trying to go sideline or press box?
I'm on the sideline. I be
Yeah,
on the sideline. I'm on the sideline, and they haven't confirmed my my request yet. And tomorrow's the game, so the only other option is I just show up, and they
I got
can't
to do
tell me
that too.
when.
Actually, I didn't even. You just reminded me.
Yeah, I think a lot of I'm showing up, and they're not if they they're gonna have no choice but to let me in.
Yeah.
Oh man, what? Let them know the stories you got up and what you got working on.
In tomorrow's paper, you can get a Super Bowl preview between Prep and Severian, as well as a Swampscott boys basketball preview. We also do a few of our favorite things section where we talk with a particular athletic director. So you'll have to go to itemlive.com or get the item in the morning to see which AD we talked to this time, and check out our Thanksgiving coverage in the paper. We had 6 reporters at all 6 games. So yeah, some former sports editors came to help. So it's a good read. So thanks for everyone who has read so far.
Always great. Well, we're finally gonna be inside a lot more now. So we got hoops, the jamboree on Friday. Season kicks off next week, and some next Friday, but the rest is the week after. I can't wait. I'm excited.
See, I'm excited too, and I hope to see you at the rink a little bit this winter.
You might. I got to check out the hockey game. Yeah. It depends who's playing, but I'll definitely try and make it out there, man. My guy, I appreciate it as always. I will see you. Hopefully, maybe I might see you tomorrow if these folks get their act together.
Or I'll see you at the door trying to get in.
Yeah. All right. All right. Have a good one, everyone.